Our elementary school librarian is astounded upon hearing that we, the mass of 11-year-old kids, did not know what empathy was. I'd found the definition being the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Have you ever heard the phrase, walk a mile in someone else's shoes? We can choose to ignore the blisters on their feet, but when we meet the ground with our own souls, we feel the pain of their whole lives. Tied up with laces of lies to hold ourselves together, our toes become tethered to the gravel with every step, and sometimes we only have to walk a couple blocks to know discrimination. Only a couple steps to know objectification, but sometimes it becomes difficult to imagine kids walking for a couple hours to get education while we ride buses and drive our own cars, they starve. While I am picky, if there's a pantry full of food, it becomes hard for people to imagine what life is like when we've never lived like that or known that kind of strife, so I tried. My first attempt at empathy was after the Easter service. I see a homeless man panhandling outside the biggest church in Vancouver while people just walk by, unaware of the fact that they just heard a sermon on loving thy neighbor. I began wondering what his life was like, wondering how he got there, wondering where his family would be if he had any, and then I began wondering what I could do to help. I felt the ignition of passion within me, and this would begin my life of activism until where I stand today, and today I'm here to talk about Haiti. As many of you should know, there is a 7.0 magnitude earthquake that hit the country, killing over 100,000 people and leaving millions in need. I landed at the Port-au-Prince airport in March 2013, and I remember how after 3 years it still felt the same, where the rubble is so fresh you can taste the cement in the air. The sidewalks are filled like flea markets of vendors trying to sell their last breath. It is 30 degrees outside. I am in culture shock. The people gather in crowds of hundreds outside the doors of the airport while we march through to our ride. Heading to our hotel, we drive through a difference of city sculptures and street art, capturing the colors of Haitian culture, while my mother points to buildings and tries to name the places she had been before. Passing the crumbled Palais National, I wondered what would America look like without their White House. Passing piles of debris, I'm thinking about those who don't know the whereabouts of their families. Passing Tent City, I'm thinking about how an entire nation has been separated. Passing the collapsed cathedral, I'm thinking about how many times we've stopped because of construction workers repaving the cracks in the roads. I'm thinking about the displacement of homes, and out of all the natural disasters, how an earthquake destroys structure the most. And in a nation where stability is scarce, it is the only thing that promises growth. I'm thinking about the foundations of everything I know, asking, where do we go from here? We know it needs to be done, but which one takes precedence? Working with Rose Charities, our mission was to teach the people of Haiti in a way that is sustainable, to give a hand up, not a hand out. We wanted to invest in the lives of the children, so we went to teach neonatal resuscitation, which is basically CPR for infants. In order to aid in the future of the children, we needed to ensure that their health needs were met. My mother, having been trained as a nurse, is most useful in the hospitals, so we travel there, where the people are sick and scarred, bruised and charred from anything imaginable there, where the people are quick to grip eye contact with anyone imaginable. I believe I am just anyone, but I feel like everyone is staring at the white boy with blonde hair asking, what is he doing there? And I realize I cannot heal their wounds with my hands. I cannot cure their sickness with my words, and I sure as hell cannot believe the sights I am seeing. I see diseases that would be quarantined in Vancouver, yet openly on display as the nurses pull back the curtains, they reveal the unspoken tragedies. My mother tells me how some, if not most of these, can be prevented, like diphtheria and hepatitis. I see malnourished kids with pot bellies and eyes yellow enough that they can't even cry real tears. I hear the sounds of mothers trying to soothe their loved ones to sleep, and as I am forced to face these realities, I turn to my right, and I see a baby with a head twice the size of my own full-grown skull. And my first thought was, this child must be a genius. It's probably got a brain that can levitate shit and communicate telepathically while calculating the probability of my realization that this baby is not a comic book character. The reality is hydrocephalus and spina bifida. When spinal fluid floods the skull, without a shunt to redirect the liquid, the bone begins to stretch. As I reflect on this trip, the reality I have been seeing is this baby's face over and over again. I'm thinking about how he is probably dead by now, thinking how he could have been saved if only there had become here. Next day, We are staying with a tour guide from England. Her home is gated and shared with a young Haitian family. And I remember reading to their youngest, Jerry. When he asks about my life, I think about university applications and the controlled schools we have and the constant stresses of exams, and yet I don't realize that I'm talking to a boy who's got to pay for high school, yet his university is free, a boy who lives under the Ministry of Developing World Education. How could I ever complain about school when he has to fight just to learn the rules of impoverished countries, social hierarchies, and corrupt monarchies? Jerry is the kind of kid who wouldn't understand why guilt is the leading cause of giving in conviction commercials to save this crying child. Jerry only greets me with smiles, because even the slightest grin can begin to brighten someone's day. I believe that laughter is more powerful than anything anyone can say. If giving and happiness can intersect a little ways down the road, maybe we wouldn't have to show why children cry in the cameras. I believe in hope, like it'll carry us away across oceans too deep to walk through. I believe in Jerry, like he's taught me to see through a new lens. Without permanent shades to darken my broader vision, he can see past the black and white shadows cast over our society. He was the perfect portrayal of innocence over poverty, something sold like property. But imagine if we could see the world with that kind of positivity. Even in the abyss of hopelessness we call Haiti, Jerry still helps me find happiness. Isn't that crazy? When I returned from this trip, I made a visit to my elementary school librarian. I told her, this feeling must be empathy. When you see emotion ranging from pain to happiness and you reciprocate with the kind of understanding that you cannot see or hear or know, you just feel it. Rose Charities is one of my favorite organizations, and the work they have been doing in Haiti is not temporary. It is partnering with hospitals to teach them lifelong practices and giving them the right resources they need. I'm not asking you to donate or show your support. I'm asking you to change your mentality. Rethink everything you see, including the people around you. I'm asking you to open your sense of wonder, eliminate apathy, and please don't forget to feel. Feeling is what makes us most human being. Thank you.